Good morning, and thank you for attending Police Headquarters. My name is Constable Carolyn DeClute, and I'm here today to introduce Deputy Chief James Raymer, who will be updating you on the investigation into allegations of assault and sexual assault at St. Mike's College School.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming today. Before I turn the podium over to Inspector Sinopoli, who oversees our sex crimes unit and will provide you a more thorough investigative update, I just wanted to make a few comments. The primary focus of our investigation has been and continues to be in the best interest of the victims and the criminal allegations that have surfaced. This morning, 5 individuals turned themselves into police, and 1 individual was arrested on his way to school. All are young offenders. I want to take this opportunity to thank those who have come forward and have spoken to investigators. And I want to thank the officers and investigators who have stayed focused on the evidence and have acted, again, in the best interest of the victims. Particularly, I want to mention the members of the Child and Youth Advocacy Center. They have been the lead investigators in all of these occurrences with the support of our partner agencies at the CYAC, and have moved this investigation to where we are today. This is going to be a complex investigation. We will continue to follow the evidence and lay additional charges if they are appropriate. And I'll now turn it over to Inspector Sinopoli.
Thank you, Deputy. I want to take this opportunity to provide an overview of the case in an effort to clarify any confusion. On Monday, November 12, 2018, 13th Division received a call from the principal of St. Mike's College. He was seeking advice about a hazing incident that he had learned about. He was advised on how the student can engage our services, and no further action was taken or received after that. On Wednesday, November 14th, Toronto Police Corporate Communications received information from the media that there were a number of expulsions taking place at St. Mike's College, believed to be in relation to an unrelated occurrence investigated by 13th Division. As a result, a 13th Division officer was dispatched to St. Mike's College. Prior to arriving, Toronto Police Corporate Communications received further information from the media indicating that the expulsions were believed to be in relation to a sexually assault involving an object. When the officer arrived, and after speaking to the principal, he confirmed that the expulsions were not in response to the unrelated occurrence, but were in response to a video that showed or depicted a sexual assault. He also shared information in relation to another incident. This incident and the one originally discussed on Monday are being investigated as assaults. On Thursday, November 15, 2018, the principal learned of another sexual assault incident that had occurred prior to the ones already being investigated. He immediately notified police, and a 4th occurrence was generated. The 6 boys arrested today have each been charged with assault, gang sexual assault, and sexual assault with a weapon. All of these charges are in relation to the sexual assault learned about on Wednesday in relation to the video. All of the young persons are being held pending a show cause hearing and are scheduled to appear at 311 Jarvis today. The investigation with respect to the incident first learned about on Monday, November 12th, and the second sexual assault incident are now under investigation, and this work continues. We have not determined whether any of these allegations are related to one another. More than 50 witnesses have been identified, and more information comes to us daily. We also know there are several videos being circulated. We are in possession of these videos. We have reason to believe that there may be more videos and more incidents. We are very concerned about the distribution of the videos on social media. The unintended consequences are far-reaching and detrimental to the recovery of the victim. I cannot stress to you the importance of ensuring that these videos are immediately deleted from all phones or devices in your possession. Failure to do so and/or the continued distribution or publishing of these videos will be treated very seriously. Let me make it perfectly clear that this caution applies to all persons and/or organizations in possession of the said video. We have also received unconfirmed reports that boys from the school are being targeted both on social media and in public. We want to reiterate that we are monitoring social media and will act on any reports of reprisal, retaliation, violence, or threats of violence. We know this has been a very strenuous time for the students, faculties, families of the St. Mike's students, aggravated by unprecedented media interest. We know tensions have been high. Now, while no criminal behavior has been reported, we would like to encourage everyone, including parents and media, to pause and remember we are dealing with children, most of whom have had no involvement with the crimes that are being investigated. I also want to take a moment to address the concerns raised about the delay in reporting the sexual assault. The Child, Youth, and Family Services Act puts a duty on all individuals, and in particular, professionals working with children, to report to a society instances where a child may be in need of protection. I appreciate that this is of concern to the parents of the students of St. Mike's College and the community at large. And I can assure you that we are working in cooperation with the principal and his staff. However, at this we are not prepared to comment on this aspect of the investigation at this time until a thorough investigation is concluded. I can take any questions you may have.
Just in your opinion, do you feel that this video, the initial sexual assault video, should have been reported on that Monday?
Yes.
Inspector, can you clarify, you said victim. How many victims, though, potentially? Are there other victims? And how is this specific victim doing?
My understanding is that the specific victim is doing okay. He has gotten the support he needs and deserves. As far as other victims, we are investigating a minimum of 4.
Have you interviewed any of the youths that have been charged yet?
I can't comment on that.
So when you say there are 4 victims, are those 4?
The school had a bomb threat this morning that was just confirmed to us, and we know they had a threat earlier on in the week. How many threats have been made against the school or its students credibly enough to warrant police attention or police response?
Today would mark the 2nd threat.
You're investigating 4 victims. Are those 4 victims of sexual assault or 4 victims just generally?
2 of assault and 2 of sexual assault.
So the second sexual assault video, you're saying no charges have been laid yet in relation to that one, or it's?
The only charges that were laid today are in relation to the one video for the sexual assault.
So the sexual assault video, the second one, did that also include a weapon?
I can't comment on that.
I've heard it was.
Inspector, how far back are police looking in terms of past incidents? You mentioned the most recent incident, the 4th incident, preceded the incidents that police became aware of last week.
In our instruction to the parents, we've placed no timelines on any allegations of hazing that cross into the criminal realm. So whether it was this week, last week, or last year, if it crosses into the criminal realm, then we are interested in speaking to those students.
Do you anticipate any charges for any adults or professionals that work at the school or were involved or are involved in the school community?
I can't comment on that.
Is the timeline part of this investigation too? The principal and administration of the school, are they part of this investigation? And could charges come when it comes to not reporting the sexual assaults immediately?
That is going to form part of the investigation, but as to whether or not charges will follow suit, I can't say. It's far too early in the investigation to get into that, and it's not the focus of our investigation. Sorry, I know.
As to when things were reported and when the school found out.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part.
We know the timeline as to when the school found out about certain incidents, but when do you think that these incidents actually happened? You had mentioned one of them happened before the other 2.
The information that we have to date is that those incidents occurred this year.
So you can't say specifically if they're recent?
This school year.
Are people coming forward to you in relation to things that have happened in the past?
I'd really rather not comment on that. I want to give an opportunity to all students, all the boys at St. Mike's that feel they've either been victimized and or have witnessed an incident to come forward.
Can you give us an idea?
Hang on.
Can you give me two, so I'm not understanding the 4 remaining incidents? 2 of them are being investigated as assaults, 2 of them as sexual assaults.
Yes, however, the one sexual assault, we've already laid charges for in relation
So
to
you're
today.
counting that in the 4?
Yes, so realistically, we have 2 sexual assaults, allegations of 2 sexual assaults, 2 assaults, and one of those sexual assaults, charges were laid in relation to that one today.
And what is the victim?
Individuals who were involved in both sexual assaults?
I can't say.
Sorry, the same victim in all 4 instances, just to clarify?
No.
Just the charges today are, we're talking about 1 victim.
Correct.
How about the other 3 cases? I mean, how many victims are we looking at?
Well, 1 in each for sure.
So each
incident minimum of 3
So we're looking
victims.
at potentially, including today's, the victim involved in the charges laid today, 4 separate victims, potentially?
Including today's, yes.
Are these athletes are the victims athletes, or are they involved in sports?
I can't get into that, I'm sorry.
Are police investigating a possible fight club that is operating out of St. Mike's? We heard that one of the assault videos depicted a fight club that involved 2 students in the hallway with a group of over 24 students in a ring cheering on the 2 students put in the center of this ring, and the video was being narrated.
This is the first I've heard about a fight club type incident.
So police are investigating a potential fight club operating.
I don't know that we're not. I'm not privy to all the information that's been received, but this is the first I've heard about that.
Inspector, can you give us an idea of the ages of the young offenders involved?
No, I cannot.
Have any instructions been given from the school to preserve any communication around their response in terms of maybe emails, records from after around the decision not to report right away?
Well, we've had conversations with the school with respect to this investigation. The school, the administrators have been cooperating with investigators and have been, or not all of them, but some of them have been interviewed.
Can you clarify why there were no child pornography charges when we look at the dissemination of these videos?
Well, the fact that there was no child pornography charges today doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be child pornography charges. But as it stands today, we are comfortable with the charges that we've laid. It gets these 6 young men before the courts, and it protects the interest of the victim.
So potentially you could be looking at dozens of students who shared a video that shows a child being allegedly sexually assaulted.
I couldn't comment on how many students received and or further published that video. I don't know at this stage.
It's still out there on social media.
Yes, in fact, I'm very concerned about that. The fact that this video and other videos are on social media is something that has serious consequences for victims. So,
You only have 4 videos at this time, sorry, back here. Why do you believe there are more?
during the course of our investigation, we have reason to believe that there's more incidents and potentially more videos.
Have you seen or heard of more online? Is that what's leading to you believe that, or what's leading you to believe that?
I can't get into what's leading me to believe that, but I do believe that there's more videos and or more incidents.
How many?
No, I don't.
Inspector, I have a question for you. You mentioned that on Monday was the first call, and for the first time we've heard that that was related to a hazing incident. And I understand that nothing happened, the police didn't respond. Was it minor in nature? Can you elaborate on that, what that would have been?
Well, the phone call was advice-driven. It involved a hazing incident, which did cross into the assault realm. It did. It did. At that point in time, the principal was given advice as to how the student can engage our services. We did not hear from that student, and we only continued with the investigation on Wednesday when we were led to the school by media reports of the expulsions.
Was that or anything to come? Obviously, it wasn't the one that was the catalyst, but you mentioned 3 others.
So when we went there on Wednesday and learned of the sexual assault video, we also received information about the video, or not the video, about the incident with regards to the Monday call. So we're looking at 2 assaults and 2 sexual assault investigations.
The first one is now being investigated. Just one more
Correct.
thing. You mentioned that the phone call part, the paraduty part that you talked about is not the focus of your investigation. Does that mean that it's not the focus, of the police or of your unit?
No, I didn't say, or at least I didn't mean to say that it's not the focus of our investigation. What I'm trying to say is that the focus of our investigation right now is the criminal offenses, the criminal allegations, and that continues to be the focus of our investigation. The byproduct of that investigation may delve into the issue of reporting or non-reporting, but that is not something that we're turning our mind to right now, actively turning our mind to right now.
Why didn't police investigate this incident that was in the realm of assault that the principal was seeking?
We are investigating.
But initially, and so you're saying the principal was seeking advice for the victim or advice on how to proceed?
I'm not quite sure what the original advice was for, but needless to say, we did not receive any reports of an assault from the complainant.
Can I just take you back to Monday? So the Monday when you first got word of, or the principal did call you about, I guess, a hazing incident. Just take me through what happened with that. So the principal called police and said, I have a video of hazing, what do I do? Why was nothing further done when that first initial call was made? Or just what happened there?
Well, the principal called 13 Division to inquire about this particular incident, and he was given advice that if the student wishes to proceed and engage our services, then the student is to be made aware as to how to contact us. Up until Wednesday, we had not received any information from that student, so there was never really a complaint.
Was it downplayed somewhat in the, I mean, to call these things a hazing incident is inherently downplaying the two assaults that you're looking at?
No, I don't mean to do that, and if I'm coming across that way,
No,
I
mean,
don't.
the call from the principal, was he perhaps accidentally?
No, I don't believe so. I think the principal was legitimately looking for some direction as to how he and or the complainant should proceed.
One more thing. The 5 young men you said turned themselves in, were they accompanied by their parents or lawyers? That's not an invasion of their privacy.
No, I'm just trying to think. I'm not 100% sure whether it was one or both, but I know some were with lawyers, but I don't know if all were with lawyers.
If Sinopoli calls in the first assault on Monday, why would that not be considered a complaint on its own about the hazing instead of seeking advice?
So all of these instances appear to be hazing initiated, but once they cross into a criminal arena, that's when we become involved. But we still need a complainant. Someone needs to call us and say, look, I was assaulted.
Isn't that the principal's responsibility as a guardian of these kids when they're in school?
Yeah, why would the phone call placed by the principal be considered a complaint on its own?
Well, it's not. The phone call was advice-driven. It was a principal looking for direction on how he and or the student could proceed.
But isn't it incumbent on police to act? I mean, when you became aware of the video on Wednesday, police, I mean, was there a complaint from a student that was
different.
in that?
So when the principal says...
Hang on, let me just finish this. Can you just repeat that? Sorry.
I guess what many people are wondering, are police not required to act in some way when there is at least, suggestion by the principal, even if it was advice-driven, that a student may be in harm's way?
Well,
And there's no
I
complaint.
think we're putting words into the principal's mouth here. I don't know what was the exact communication between him and the staff sergeant he spoke to, but suffice to say that the staff sergeant's advice to the principal was, if this individual feels that he was assaulted, then he's to contact us.
So police did not report even the first incident of the so-called baptism, so that wasn't an official police report.
It was not until Wednesday when we learned more information.
You mentioned that the student this morning was arrested on their way to school, and we understand that the school had made some expulsions and some questions in relation to the incidents last week. This last student evidently was not among those expelled if they were on their way to school this morning. Out of the students who were arrested, how many of them were still attending the school at the time that or were arrested?
I don't have that answer for you. I don't know.
And one follow-up question here. Has your investigation been complicated by mechanisms like Snapchat where a video can be shared and deleted?
What do you mean by complicated?
Has it made it more difficult to investigate the sharing of the video when it's something where the video can be shared and then 30 seconds later be essentially gone?
Well, I think, yes. I mean, and realistically, any investigation would be hampered by social media. It's very difficult. I mean, although there's a digital footprint, it's at times difficult to follow that digital footprint.
Just to clarify on that question, you can't say out of the 8 students expelled and 1 suspended, are those 6 that were charged today included in that group?
The reason why I can't say is because I don't know. I simply don't know. I know for certain that one of those kids was not one of the expelled kids because he was en route to school. But as to the other 5, as to whether or not they were of the 8 expulsions, I don't know.
After being in something like this, have you ever seen
Sorry, those are all the
anything like
questions.
this in the private school before?
No, definitely.
Okay, well,
That concludes today's conference. Thank you for attending.